Hi, and we are live here on Law of Attraction 2.0, but we are also on Spirituality Gone Wild, the Stream of David page, and the Stream of David YouTube channel. So wherever you're viewing from, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm here with Matt Gardan, as always. Hi, Matt. How are you?
Hey, guys. Hey, David. I'm well, thanks.
Good.
Lovely day here in Australia.
Yeah, so it's Friday morning there.
It's Friday morning, yeah.
Friday morning there. Actually, not mid-morning, right?
10 o'clock.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
well, it's lovely here in Southern California as well. In fact, the weather is perfect outside right now. If I could freeze it right here as far as the temperature goes, I would. As far as what shopping at Ralph's is like right now, though, I would not freeze that because I just got back from there, and it's kind of like, you ever seen the show Black Mirror?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really watch the show because it's too depressing, but shopping at Ralph's was kind of like an episode of Black Mirror a few minutes ago. They have this little recording that comes on every couple of minutes. Stay away from each other. Don't touch anything.
Don't touch.
You're all going to die. You know, I'm like, oh, great. This is a lot of fun. I'm glad I'm spending $200 for a bag of groceries in here right now. So anyway, I had to go buy some food, and that was my little excursion out of the house. I haven't been out of the house in a few days, so it was nice to get out, and it's beautiful out there. We're doing these long walks now, though, a couple of times a day, and that's good. We need to because we're not eating that well at the moment. We're overeating.
And it's gorgeous where you are. You know, you've got the mountains there, and you've got the golf course across from your place. Like, it's
I'm looking at them. I mean, they're out this way, so you don't get to see the view, but I do. The mountains are beautiful, and the temperature, like I said, right now is just perfect. Nice little cool breeze. A lot to be thankful for right now.
Oh yeah, amazing amount.
Let's focus on that. So if you are watching, I see a lot of you joining right now. So say hi, type in a comment. If you have questions for Matt or myself or the stream, you're going to get all three of us for the price of one today.
That's right. It's a special offer.
Right.
COVID-19 offer.
So I'll be channeling the stream a little later in the broadcast. So if you have questions for the stream, you can ask those right now. You can ask any question you want. If I'm capable of answering it, I will. If Matt's willing to answer one, he'll do the same. But a lot of those are stream pay grade questions that we wait for them to come in and answer. So however you want to do it.
Yeah, the stream answers. The stream offers much better advice than either of us could.
That's true. That's very true. I do want to tell you all that are watching, though, if you haven't heard about it already, we are doing a summit. We are doing a live reset summit. Hi, Nicole. We're doing a live reset summit this Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific. It's going to be a 2-hour live summit. Matt is going to be hosting. Debbie G is going to be co-hosting along with Matt. And we're going to have a panel of 8 additional people on camera with us. And this group of 8 people, we're going to rotate and do more of these and have more people on camera. We're calling it the virtual hot seat, if you will. Some of you know what that means. And they're going to be able to interact directly with the stream, which is a different experience. It's great to be able to come in here and answer questions from everyone that's on as far as having Matt read them. But these people are going to be on camera. They're going to be able to speak directly to the stream, get the answer to their question, and then even ask a follow-up question if they need additional clarity, which is going to be a little different than what we do in here normally. And the subject matter is going to be what's going on right now, the global reset that we are encountering. You've probably heard about it. And that's going to be the subject matter. But there's no question that's off limits with the stream ever. Hi, Robert. So put that in your calendar. Mark your calendar, set a reminder in your phone, and you can go on to any of the websites that you're watching us on right now, any of the Facebook sites that you're watching us on right now if you're on Facebook, and you can actually go and find the announcement for that, and you can click Get Reminder, and you'll get a reminder from Facebook when it's time for us to go live, so you can come and participate, and we're going to raise the vibe that day for sure. There's global meditation going on that day as it is, so we're just going to get the ball rolling with our little crew right off the bat with a high vibrational 2-hour experience.
Yeah, add our energy to that. I think it's 1 million meditators, isn't it? That are doing something.
Yeah, and I think hi, Debbie.
Hey, Debbie. Also, David, I noticed there are captions running on the show. Do we still want that, or
there's captions running right now?
Yeah. I just had a look on your side. Yeah.
On this episode, on this broadcast.
Yeah.
As far as recording what we're saying.
Yeah. Just
no,
captioning what we're saying. Okay.
I have no idea. Is it getting it correct, or is it like gibberish?
That's the name wrong a couple of times, but other than that, they're fine.
Okay. Well, I didn't do anything to make that happen, so that's something that's just happening. I don't think that's StreamYard. I think it's Facebook. I don't know that StreamYard. Debbie G is the StreamYard guru, though, so she can tell us something that I did to make that happen. I don't know.
Okay.
She's always on here telling me what to do and what banner to put up and all that kind of thing because she knows this platform better than I do. So type your questions for the stream. If you have questions for Matt or myself, we're going to roll into talking about how we're reacting to the global reset that's going on right now. We're all calling it a global reset because those of us that are, God, I hate to use the word enlightened. I've got to find a new word. I don't like enlightened because it sounds like you either are or you aren't. And there's no such thing as that. It's a path that everybody's on.
What about those of us who are doing the work,
Yeah, we understand that it's a global reset. We understand that it's something that humanity has manifested because we are collectively raising in vibration, and that causes tension, that change in vibration because of the polarity in any physical environment. And the stream teaches us this. That polarity is causing tension right now with this increasing vibration, and then there's pushing against, and the pushing against the vibration is causing some side effects, but the side effects in turn are actually serving our expansion. So I'm happy to get into all that. Hey, Nam, good to see you in here.
Hey, Nam. Hey, Lenoir. And I think, David, that's a very good point. This is an opportunity. This is a historic opportunity that we will be telling our great-grandkids about. And there are people who are going to, hey, Debbie, there are people who are going to spend the whole time sitting on the couch watching Netflix, and that's fine. That's totally fine. And there are going to be people who are going to make the most of this opportunity, and that's fine too.
And there are people that are living in terror right now of it, that are perpetuating more of it, and that's okay because that is part of the equation. Yeah. So that's where we get into the streams message and the practice of Taya. You hear us talk about that on here all the time. that we're not judging. We're not judging, and we're not needing other people to agree with us, and we're not needing to be right. Yeah. So that's a big departure from what much of humanity is, how much of humanity operates, right?
Yeah.
You need to be right. Your way is the right way. Your belief system is the only belief system, and everybody needs to agree. And, a lot of people are like that.
Yeah.
And I can see now that, wow, it takes everyone on this planet doing their thing in their bubble of reality to actually create the expansion. Because if we didn't have the tension and we didn't have the quote unquote unwanted, we would not have the expansion. We expand because we identify things that we don't like, we don't want, we won't change, we want evolution, we want to grow, we want to do more, be more, have more. And it's all because we've identified things that we want to see change in. And that identifying and then setting our sights on what we do want and allowing that to manifest is expansion.
Yeah, 100%. Donna, that's an excellent question. We'll ask the stream that when we bring that in. Guys, please post your questions in here, and we'll ask them when we bring the big guys in. David, I think it's also important to say that we're not all happy clappy here. Like you know very well, I've been quite down the spiral last week. Everyone's dealing with it. It is a very stressful time, and I think now is an excellent time to use the tools that we've learned in Taya and use the tools that we've learned on our spiritual journey for a real crisis. And we should be blessed and grateful that we have this tool set that we can apply to a difficult time. But it doesn't mean that we don't get stressed, or we don't go down our spiral, or we don't freak out at times. We do. Hopefully we stay down there less long than we otherwise would have in the past without these tools and without this awareness. But again, there's no judgment from the stream if you want to know all of this and not use any of it and freak out and have it be awful and say none of this works. Like, they don't care. Yeah. They're out there creating universes. They really don't care what you're doing.
Yeah. And I think that's an important point to make too, that really understanding that we create our own bubble of reality, and how we participate in this reset is really up to us. Mm-hmm. And I have said in the past, something to the effect of, I'm not going to participate in. Well, I am participating in the global reset, and I am participating in the pandemic that's going on right now. Mm-hmm. We all are. But how are we participating in it? I'm up my spiral. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm eager to see what's next. I can't wait to see where humanity goes from here with this new situation that we've got, that we've all manifested.
Yeah.
We manifest everything. Everything is a manifest. Somebody in one of the other groups I was looking in today, I want to manifest. How do I manifest? Like, well, you're doing it all the time.
You're doing it.
Yeah, you're doing it by default. If you're asking a question like that, but
it's kind of like saying, I want a gravity. I want gravity. Can I have some gravity now?
Yeah, I'm going to float away. How do I use gravity? We are, the law of attraction is creating everything that's happening all around us all the time, and we're all living in our own bubble of reality, and understanding that, and that we get to decide intentionally what that bubble is going to look like. But it doesn't mean that you're never going to go down your spiral into negative emotion, because we all do. Everybody does. That's part of being human. That's why I don't like to use the word enlightened, because enlightened sort of indicates that you are all knowing, that you are perfect, that you never go down your spiral. You're never human, and that's not true. We're all human beings. None of us are perfect. We all are vibrational beings, and we're all experiencing a mix of wanted and unwanted things all the time. Yeah. That's perfection, though, because the unwanted things are the very things that drive us to go deeper, to want more, to do more, to find a solution, to, if nothing else, I speak to a lot of people who have had difficult childhoods or difficult pasts. They've suffered abuse and things of that nature. And in the beginning, when they start this journey, especially if they're in the Taya practice, they're not seeing how that serves them. And the statements that you hear, well, how does someone served by being abused, in some way? That's not possible. And why would they manifest that? Well, you don't manifest just because you want something. You manifest vibrationally, and polarity is kind of pulling us up and down this virtual vibrational spiral all the time. And so there are sometimes you're going to go down your spiral, and when you go down your spiral, you are going to manifest some unwanted things. And those unwanted things serve as the launch pad of your next creation, if you allow it to. And eventually it will, one way or the other. But so many people are in this type of spiritual thought because they had that type of childhood. Because they have a difficult past and things they want to heal from and overcome, or because they're experiencing things right now that they want to move on from. And they found that the traditional methods have not worked for them. They're looking for something else, and then they vibrationally align with and find their path to something like this. And then finally they feel like, wow, this is the only thing that makes sense. This resonates. I finally feel like I've found a set of teachings that makes sense for me, and they feel like they've found home. And then they dive into it, and it starts changing their lives. And, the stream certainly does not have an exclusive, lock on that sort of thing, monopoly on that sort of thing. There's lots of teachers out there offering lots of different schools of thought that serve everyone at that level. Yeah. And that's what's important to understand, is that humanity is a big tent, and we need different teachers for different things.
Yeah. And that's something the streams say often. It's like, this message isn't for everybody, but if you found your way here, be open to it, listen to it, interrogate it, see if it feels right. And if it does, explore it some more. But if it doesn't feel right, move on. There's another teaching there that will. The fact that you're looking is important.
Yeah, that's good.
The fact that you're searching is part of the path you are on, and that is your way through this life. And you can either choose to spend it on the couch, again, totally fine. You can choose to freak out, and again, totally fine. Or you can choose to keep looking and keep being curious and keep searching.
I'm reading some of the questions now to see if they're for us.
There's some really good stuff. Yeah, there's some
good
really
questions
good stuff
in there. I'm saving those for the stream for sure.
Yeah. Lots of stuff, guys. How can we detach from this human state? Well, the stream has a good opinion on that. Is it possible to not be influenced by everything in the human realm? Yeah, yes and no. Drugs help. I'm contemplating buying 99 red balloons next time. I think I might survive a dollar store that might still be open. That'd be great. Yes, and I think the other thing that's important to keep in mind when you're struggling and when you're down is the relief and the joy that comes at the end, at dawn, when you break through, because the contrast is still fresh in your mind. I had a middle ear infection for most of March. I couldn't train. I was in hospital, excruciating pain. There's nothing they can do. They just kind of dope you up. You've got to let it go. And the pain was actually exhilarating. It was such an intense emotion. You felt so alive. It was like, wow, this is a rare experience for people to have. It's not pleasurable at all, but I was kind of grateful to have the experience. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You kind of learn that even bad stuff is an experience, and any experience is a worthwhile one. Robert, my understanding of what the stream says is we've come here for the humanness. Like, we came to be in this realm. If you want to completely detach from the human state, kill yourself. Then you go back to your completed state. Like, that's actually the way to do it. I'm not suggesting
I have to put a little disclaimer there, though.
Do that.
That is not what they're asking.
That's not advice.
That is not advice from the Stream of David.
Yeah, just block the logo out across.
Yeah, we're on the spiritual show, and you told me to kill myself.
Where's the logo?
I know that's not what you mean.
No. Oh. And Robert, I know you understand that too. But the point is, we came for this experience, good or bad. And the stream are very clear about that, is that you come for everything this life has to offer you. And something they say that I'm still wrapping my head around is the more intense your experience and the more difficult your experience, the more advanced your soul. Because your soul craves that contrast. It craves that intensity.
Yeah, the stream is sad, and they say it better than I do, but they say, we when we leave this body and we die, as we call it, and return to our completed state, the wholeness of who we are, that we're in this state of perfection. We're all knowing, we're all seeing, we're part of source, we're at one, we're pure love, we're pure joy. And I see so many humans, even especially in spiritual discussions, I can't wait. This is my last lifetime. I can't wait to go and just be spirit. Well, that's not the way it works. We're sort of worker bees, and we all have a job to do. And that job is to come and be physical and experience positive and negative, and contribute to the expansion of the universe by overcoming our negative and expanding in the process. Mm-hmm. And as part of source, we expand source that way. Mm-hmm. I hope that little Cliff's Notes version makes sense, but that it really is essentially the meaning of life. And they've said over and over again that we think that's what we want. Grass is always greener on the other side. We go to the other side, we get into that stream of pure positive energy and pure love, and we want nothing more than to expand some more and to come back to physical and do it all over again some way. Not always human, not always the same way. In fact, we're not static that way. We're always wanting to be something more, something that's expanded, something that's more evolved. Mm-hmm. And beings are becoming more evolved in all physical realities at all times.
Yeah, it's true. And the other beautiful thing I like about this is that whenever we have an experience, that experience creates an emotion. That emotion creates a vibration. That vibration contributes to the expansion of the universe. And the universe just wants to expand all the time. And so the more intense our emotions and the more intense our experiences, the more contribution to the universal expansion, to the expansion of this energy. Robert, just going back to your question, because I think it's an important thing, and David, you touch on this a lot, is the second part of your question is it possible not to be influenced by everything in the human realm? It's, and I think, David, you're very good at this. It's possible not to be attached to it, to not be affected by it, to be just like, okay, the store was crazy, people were scrambling for stuff, I'm fine with it. Like, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, well, I just left that. I mean, literally half an hour ago, it wasn't mayhem in there. A lot of empty shelves and a lot of kind of ominous messages coming over the intercom in the store, and a lot of changes with how you're supposed to behave. And then other people were business as usual. A guy even bumped into me. He was so close to me. There's no social distance when they're bumping into you, right? So for me, I just instantaneously go into appreciation. And Debbie is Debbie Gratitude. She's all about appreciation, and we talk about it all the time. I appreciate that I can be in this great supermarket right now, and there is food. There's eggs to be had. All the ingredients that I needed to cook what I want to cook this weekend were there, and it's a beautiful day outside, and the store's not that busy right now, and it's so nice just to be able to go through here and shop and do my thing. I made homemade hand sanitizer today, and I took that with me because you never know if they have it or not. So it's kind of a
special offer, $3.99.
The Stream of David. Kidding.
Sanitized spirituality.
By the Stream, $99 a bottle. By the Stream. Totally kidding.
It will kill you. Don't drink it.
Oh yeah, for $19.99, I'll also throw in this little stone right here that is also
limited time.
Send your love gift today. Sorry.
We'll put the PayPal link.
I'm from the South of the United States, the land of televangelists. So, I actually have a relative that was a famous televangelist. I won't mention his name on here, but he's like a distant relative of mine. Yeah, seriously. I never met the guy. I don't know anything about him, but I know that I'm somehow related to this person. So we're going to bring in the stream in just a minute. So if you have questions for the stream, I see that there's already some coming up in here. So keep asking your questions. If you have anything for Matt or myself, you can just type, Matt, here's a question for you. David, here's a question for you. We're happy to answer anything about Taya, the Taya practice, because that's something that is, if you don't know what Taya is, and I'll go into my little quick Taya spiel. Taya is a spiritual practice that I created from my human perspective based on the stream's teachings. We really co-created it together. And then I started a boot camp program where people started coming in and taking courses from me. And the people taking the courses actually also help co-create this. It evolves. We get new tools. We think it's this beautiful, perfect spiritual practice that just delivers this amazing life, and it does. But then all of a sudden there's some other thing that's come out of it, and another thing that's come out of it. And it just kind of keeps blossoming and unfolding. And I think it always will. It's just an amazing experience to be able to, and what I love right now is the boot campers. I'm on with them, and they're all going through boot camp right now at this time. And they're so grateful that they have the tools, because they're not terrified. They're not upset. They're not worried. They're taking wise health precautions like we all should. Law of attraction means that we create our own bubble of reality. If we're not going to participate in the virus, we're not going to participate in it. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to make my own hand sanitizer and sanitize my hands and do smart things that healthcare professionals tell you to do. But you can do those things without being terrified of it at all. And I will tell you all, I had a really nasty flu back in February. And the more I see about the symptoms of this virus, I think I already had it. I don't know that for a fact because I didn't get tested for it, but I had a nasty, nasty flu. I never get sick. I never get the flu. I didn't have a flu shot because I never get one because I never get sick. And I had this nasty flu. And I remember, it was awful. It lasted about a week, and then it was gone, and I recovered, and I was fine. And so you can, A, not get it at all. You could, B, get it. And the majority of people that get it do recover from it. And then some people, yes, do succumb to it.
Yeah.
But that's humanity. And that goes for lots of illnesses and just being human in general. So we get to decide how we respond to all this. It's so obviously, to me, a global reset, though. And
100%.
The stream has said now that there's no accidents, and all of the things that have been happening have been sort of leading up to this moment. And it was an interesting thing they shared yesterday with Matt and myself that the Taya program started in March exactly 2 years ago. And so we sort of had 2 years to prepare for sharing this message with the world. A message that very much is about creating your own bubble of reality, to responding to things very differently. Yes, you can be in the mix. You don't have to cut yourself off from society. You don't have to, to me, when think you have to cut yourself off from society to practice a spiritual practice, you're missing the point.
It'd be like going, sorry, man. It'd be like going to a theme park and sitting on the bench and not doing any of the rides.
Yeah, we're supposed to participate. And if we're not judging other people, and we're not needing them to believe the way we believe, and we're not needing to be right, this is our spiritual practice that we do in the stream's teachings. And maybe there's some other things that we subscribe to as well. We're all individuals, and we're all intelligent beings. So why not experience and sample a little bit of everything and find what works for you?
Yeah. And Robert, sorry, last time I'm just going to come back to you, because I think he's made a very good point here where he says, I ask the question because sometimes I enter a robot state, as I like to call it, where I'm filled with energy, my mind detaches from my body, and I'm not affected by anything. That is being very much up your spiral. And that's the tools that you learn through Taya to be able to enter that state more easily. Instead of it being by accident, it's kind of more easy.
You get more intentional with it, but being in super high vibration, which we all have access to.
Sorry, guys, just
you reach a point where your new low is your old high. You're so up your spiral, and your vibration is so high so often that when you do dip down, it's really uncomfortable because you don't like being down there. you want to be up because you know what being up is all about. It's about joy. It's about clarity. It's about being connected to source. It's about having your own intuition. It's about not really having to go out and seek guidance because you are so tapped into your higher self, which is source. It's all the same thing because we're all part of source. Source flows through all creation, all of it. Source is flowing through other human beings that don't believe the way we believe.
Yeah,
absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there are people that we see that we think are evil and awful and horrible sometimes from our human perspective. They're all contributing to society in their own way. And it's hard for us as ego-driven humans sometimes to understand that. And by ego, I mean fear, really, to understand that. But everybody is serving a purpose, and everything that's going on serves a purpose. And it all leads to our expansion. And the tension that has been created by our collective expansion is exactly what is creating the situation that we're experiencing right now. Yeah. And it's an exciting time.
Yeah, so it can be. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yes. Sorry, guys. There's some workmen who are trying to come in, so I was just dealing with that. Shall we? Should we bring them in?
Let's do
stream,
it.
Not the work.
We've got questions for them, so let's get them in and get these questions going, and let's play with the stream a little bit. So what we do at this point is, if you haven't watched the show before, I channel a group of non-physical entities that I call the stream. They comprise the core of source energy. They are source. Source is running through all of us, so this message is part of all of us. And what I do is I take a little moment to quiet my mind, to meditate, to raise my vibration. That sort of calls them in. It does the same for all of you. So we all meditate together at this point. So this is our little, for the people that are watching now, and if you're watching in the future, take this moment to quiet your mind, to set an intention, to have a great experience with the stream, and you will. We are here.
Thank you for joining us. We have some good energy in the group today, and we'd like to ask you some questions, if we may.
Absolutely, you may.
One of the first questions is, we've labeled this a global reset, a kind of a resetting the planet, or resetting our consciousness. Can you give us some advice on this, or can you give us some perspective on this idea of this opportunity to restart?
We like the fact that you refer to it as an opportunity, because that's truly what it is. You have created this for yourselves, and you all create everything on planet Earth. You are the creators. You often refer to us as source, but we are original thought, and we are the original thought that created all of you. And all of you are the creators that create your environment, your physical reality, and in turn expand that physical reality, and your expansion of that physical reality in turn creates our expansion. And that is the purpose of life in a nutshell. What you are experiencing, and planet Earth has experienced this many, many times. If you think to the fact that your planet began as a speck of dust and expanded from there, as all creation has, you have gone through endless resets. What has occurred on your planet is that you have all created, with your intelligence, the technology to travel, the technology to communicate globally, and you are all indeed a collective consciousness, and you are all interconnected on your planet. And humans, being the most intelligent life forms on the planet, are the ones who are truly driving the creation. Everything on your planet is part of this, but human beings are the drivers of it. And now that you are traveling more and interacting more and using technology such as this to communicate in ways that you have never communicated globally before, you are all commiserating more. You are all catching up to the non-physical version of your collective consciousness. And in doing so, you are becoming more enlightened, if you will. You are becoming more intelligent about the ways of the universe and your true nature. And in doing that, you are starting to question certain things. You are questioning many of the fear-based teachings that you have been subject to across humanity for a very long time. You are questioning your governments. You are questioning your organized religions, your traditions, your customs, and you are seeing these things crumbling and falling away. And you are all seeing evidence of that. And in doing all of that, and in coming together and essentially raising the vibration of planet Earth via your thought, via your intention, you have created some tension. And that tension that you have created has caused this reset. This is a reset that you all very much desire. From your higher perspective, all creation desires this. This reset is something that many of you may be viewing as a trying time, a time of widespread illness and even death on your planet. Understand that from our perspective, we view life and death very differently. You are all taught to perhaps fear death, and you are certainly taught to fear pain and fear illness and things of this nature. But it's important to understand that the things that come through your lives, the storms that come through, if you will, these storms are there for a reason. They are your unwanted manifestations. And these unwanted manifestations are things that cause you to want change, to want evolution, to want more. And in the wanting change and the wanting evolution and the wanting more and the actually allowing of it is expansion. So this is yet another time of great expansion for planet Earth and for humanity, and turning your sights toward correction, turning your sights toward healing, turning your sights toward using this time and notice the perfection of what you've created. It's all caused most of you to go inward, to sequester, to find new ways to communicate. It's caused you to appreciate things that perhaps you have never appreciated before. David is one who finds things to appreciate every day of his life and has never bothered to appreciate eggs and toilet paper until recently. And you are all experiencing things of this nature, that higher level of appreciation and that time to turn inward and that quiet time that most of humanity is experiencing right now is going to serve a greater purpose. And there will be a correction from this. But we go back to your word opportunity. This is creating an opportunity, and where humanity takes this is truly up to the collective consciousness of humanity. We are often asked to predict the future. We will tell you that there are endless versions of the future occurring simultaneously for planet Earth and for all things. And in those endless versions of possibilities, there are possibilities that are complete destruction of your planet all the way over to utopia. Neither one of those things are likely to happen. The vibration will correct. The vibration will recenter. You will all catch up to the raised vibration of your planet, and some unwanted things will go away.
Yeah,
and some unwanted things will then arise new. There's always going to be some unwanted things, and so when you speak of a new world order or utopia or new Earth, and you believe that you are marching toward this life of perfection and ease where you simply sit around and manifest and agree with one another all day, it is not accurate, because that is not your true desire. You all are independent thinkers, if you will, from your ego consciousness, and you all want different things, and you're all existing in your own bubbles of reality. And in that, you all have different perspectives. And that is the perfection of your physical environment, that you have many different beliefs and opinions. It is a big tent across humanity for sure, and it all serves a purpose. You're not heading toward perfection, but you are absolutely able to head toward a planet where you are taking better care of your world. You're perhaps treating each other better. You are thinking on a higher level. Many of you are swimming more upstream in your ability to think from our perspective, which is available to all of you at all times, where you are not fearing anymore. The releasing of fear and the allowing of trust is what's available to you, and why we are flowing in this way. And not all of humanity is ready for this, but those of you who are, we are here for you, and that's who this message is for.
Oh, thank you. It's a fantastic explanation. Donna asks, and we answered half of her questions, but she asked another one where she says, what is the likelihood that a global meditation could influence and decrease the effect of the virus? There's a large meditation planned. There are a group of them that are planned. But will that have an effect? What might the effect be?
The collective consciousness has complete control over what happens next. And the more of humanity that is placing positive energy toward healing, placing positive energy toward spring, if you will, you are going to manifest spring. We will tell you that you will manifest spring sooner or later, regardless of what humanity does, regardless of what actions that you take, because positive is more powerful than negative, always. Notice that on your planet. You have storms that come through and cause destruction. People return to their completed state. Buildings are torn down. People are injured. Financial fortunes are lost, things of this nature, and yet you always bounce back. You always spring forward. And the ones that return to their completed state simply come and do it all over again, because there is no real death. You are always going to have positive overtake negative. That is the nature of the universe. And there is no evidence to the contrary of that for you to find, because there is none. The positive is more powerful than negative. Positive will overtake. The timing of that is up to humanity. So the more of you that place your sights on what you want, as opposed to what you don't want, as opposed to fearing what's going on right now, setting your sights toward positive meditation, prayer, things of this nature, knowing that it's going to deliver you, that high vibrational knowing state of a deliverance to a higher vibration is absolutely going to help your planet and help you out of what you are calling a crisis or a pandemic.
Thank you. That leads us to another question. If our vibration and our thoughts contribute to universal expansion, does all this negative fear also contribute? Does the general panic and the general anxiety, is that contributing to growth?
It is contributing to growth, and that is inspiring you to think about something else. You notice in the very short amount of time that this has truly been impacting your planet on a large global scale. The negative energy created it. The tension created it. The pushing against created it. And you all played a role in that. And the fearing of it, and we said this weeks and weeks and weeks ago, that the fearing of it would make it worse, and that has come to be. And the fearing of it has certainly brought you to the place where you are now. There will be a turning point. And for lack of a better term, in human words, and that's the very best that we have to offer you in this medium, you will simply get bored with the fear across humanity and being bored with the current situation and begin to think about what's next. People will heal from it and understand that they had it and they survived it, and here they are. And now what's next? Where do we want to go from here? That type of thinking, the tides will turn across humanity, and that type of thinking will lead to the spring that we speak of. The timing for that is up to humanity. And anything that you have to offer individually or as part of a collective that is positive is absolutely helping you get to this spring that we speak of.
Thank you. Encouraging words for everyone. Debbie asked a question that is a serious question. We've seen a rise, certainly where I am in Australia and also in the States, and I imagine everywhere, of domestic violence. People being cooped up in apartments, stress levels rising, not having that escape often leads to violence and sometimes tragedy, which is awful. How can we support people who are trapped in those situations? How can we provide solace for people who are facing situations that are very difficult?
Understand that the very best that you have to offer your fellow human being is the up the spiral version of you. When you are reading about things such as this and hearing about things such as this, perhaps even witnessing things such as this, you have a choice. You can understand that you're all creating and living in your own bubbles of reality. And very often you are experiencing negative things as human beings, not because you want them or deserve them or are paying for past life deeds or anything of that nature. You are experiencing out of your own fear and out of your own lack of love for yourselves. Very often when one is being abused, it is a situation where one is not loving themselves and placing themselves vibrationally in alignment with another that agrees with that, that is not respecting them and not treating them well. This is why we guide you all to go up your spiral and love yourselves and understand that when you love yourselves, you are directly connected to our energy, because we are pure love for you. And when you are connected in that place of self-love, then your strength comes from that. Your fear goes away. Your ability to trust increases. The tides begin to turn for you. And this is true of one who is in an abusive situation. With that said, understand that they did not arrive there overnight, that is a habit of thought and even a lifetime of thought that has led them to that situation, to manifest something that horrific and unwanted from your perspective. And we understand your perspective very, very much, but they are having their experience, and we guide you not to judge it. We certainly guide you to discern your preference to not have things like that happen on your planet, certainly not have things like that happen in your reality, but save the judgment of it. You often hear things like, why do they stay? Why are they in that situation? Why don't they just leave? Why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? You hear all sorts of things like that. Refrain from judging it. Be up your spiral regarding it. Send them the very best of your vibrations. If there is something that you can take action from a high vibrational state, absolutely do that. But don't allow that to take you down your spiral, because if you go down your spiral to meet them at their low vibrational level in that scenario, you've got nothing to offer them from down there. The very best that you have to offer are your positive vibrations toward them, and any action that you can take that manifests for you, and it will show itself to you from your high vibrational wanting better for them because you know they're capable of. That's the very best that you can do, and you can manifest aid for them from that high vibrational space. As far as what's going on across humanity at this time, you are in a time of global crisis, and crisis, as you know, brings out the very best and very worst in human beings, depending on how you're responding to it. And the spring will come, and a scenario will present itself where some of those scenarios will play out in a positive way for the one who is suffering abuse. Some will not. And that is their journey on planet Earth. And this is one of the things that we teach, that we understand is very hard for you to comprehend on a surface level as a human being. This is why we ask you to go deep into our teachings if you really want to understand what we are offering, as far as allowing someone who is being abused to live their humanity and understand that that soul placed themselves in the path of that intentionally. And Matt touched on this earlier. You see children that are born into poverty and terminal illness, even, and abuse, and being a miscarried soul and things of this nature. And you do not understand why, if you choose your point of entry, why a soul would choose something such as that. Why would a soul choose to be an aborted fetus, manifesting into the path of one who is vibrationally not ready to have a child, emotionally or otherwise, and the likelihood of choosing to terminate the pregnancy goes up? Why would a soul choose that? That is the experience, that the possibility of something like that, or the possibility of the abortion not happening and being born into high contrast, possibly being born into heavy abuse very early on, or neglect, or something of that nature. It is difficult to comprehend, because you're taught to fear things like that and even hate things like that, and not understand that you are witnessing a very sophisticated soul consciousness being projecting itself in the path of greater contrast for the contrasting experience of it. Because the negative things that happen to you as a human being actually can drive you toward expansion. So where we guide you with all of this is to understand that every being on your planet has a higher self connection. And that higher self is looking for contrast and looking for expansion from the contrast. And there is expansion regardless of the outcome of a human life. So the fetus that is aborted has an experience. The fetus that is stillborn or miscarried has an experience. The child that is born into neglect or poverty or some type of abuse has an experience. Even those that succumb to that sort of treatment have an experience that is a unique human experience that expands them from a soul consciousness level that is very complicated for you to understand as a human being. Because part of this is when you project into human life, in this example, your ego, your human consciousness takes over and overshadows much of your eternal wisdom on purpose, so that you can come and have this unique one-off human experience that you are all having. That's why many of you have sort of an inkling of other existences, other times, other lifetimes, but you really don't have the knowledge of that you think you have. You are perceiving things of the energetic realm as best you can from your human perspective. But this was very much your desire in coming here, is to have that overshadowed so that you don't have all of that awareness, so that you can come and sort of disconnect and have this human experience. And this is why we guide you to not judge another's experience, because there is value in all of it. There is value in the contribution they are making to humanity, regardless of their activities. And there is value for that soul consciousness being, regardless of the outcome or the conditions of their lifetime.
Thank you. It's a fantastic perspective. Someone asks about a dear friend who died only a few days ago. She had an experience much like one you have just detailed, with a very difficult physical deformality, and she lived much longer than anyone would expected. This person was called Mel. What happens to that soul? Can we contact them? Can we give them a message? How do we connect to that person now that they're in their completed state?
You all have the ability to connect directly with your vibrational neighbors, if you will, the ones that you call your loved ones, your soulmates, your closest friends, your family, the other beings. You are all interconnected, and certainly there are some souls that are more closely intertwined than others. That's why we like the term vibrational neighbors. It sounds very casual, and it is indeed that casual, because you all vibrate differently, and you sort of intertwine in and out of each other's experiences, and that vibrational soul level intertwinement leads to your physical intertwinement. But understand that those that are the most impactful in your lives, from your dearest friends and lovers to your enemies, if you have them, they are all vibrational neighbors. You cannot have that much impact on another's life and not have some sort of entanglement vibrationally from a soul consciousness level. So to understand the path of one who has a prolonged illness, that through their intention prolongs the time that they are here, because that is the experience they're looking to have, and then returns to their completed state, that is simply the path of the physical being. The spiritual being, the soul consciousness being, is eternal as you are. And you have this intertwinement, and your very best path to communicating with them is actually not through another. You have...
Oh, we've lost you there, I think.
But you have the power. You have the connection. You can make this connection through your appreciation of them. And you will find this to be true. You can experiment with this, if you will. Sit every evening as you drift off to sleep in high appreciation of the very best of them, the things about them that you love the most, and notice what you dream about. Notice the feeling around you. Very often you are taught as human beings to tune all of these things out. And notice that little children have this ability. David speaks very often of adoring his grandfather and seeing him after his death, and then moving on and not seeing things with such ease a little later in life, and until he began allowing things again. You all have the ability to do this, and you do not have to perceive them as a ghost, if you will. They are energetic. Anything that you see is your human perspective trying to decode that energetic realm message that you are receiving, and you are receiving it in a way that you can comprehend and understand what it is that is meaningful to you. So understand that all you need to do is be in appreciation of the one that you love, and you are vibrationally just as close to them, if not closer than ever, because the human part of them is no longer resisting.
Oh, beautiful message. Thank you. Donna asks an interesting question. She says, I understand why the soul wants expansion. It comes down into this human form to have expansion. But why does Source, that is omniscient and omnipotent, want or need expansion?
We are energy at our core. We are nothing but energy, and understand that energy is either expanding and growing or contracting. And we often speak of the humanization of the energetic realm. You create images of angels and guides and deities and things of this nature, and there's nothing wrong with any of that. We are not guiding you away from any of that. But understand that you are all part of it, and the role that you play in the expansion is your physical experiences, and we are positive energy, but we would not expand without the usefulness of negative energy. The negative energy creating things that you all from a physical perspective deem as negative and expand from, overcome, evolve beyond, creates expansion. That negative energy in the energetic realm also serves to keep us from spiraling out of control, if you will, in an explosion of positive energy. It is sort of creates this drag effect that keeps us in alignment. We created it. We created it for our own use, if you will. So the idea of physical is for you to come into a physical environment and enjoy the physical expressions of that which we are, the things that you appreciate, the things that you discern as your preference, but also to experience unwanted. And in experiencing the unwanted and turning your sights toward what is wanted and allowing that to manifest, that is new creation, and new creation is expansion. And our energy is running through all creation. So when you expand creation, we expand. We are only the source of. You are the creators, truly.
So it's not that you want or need expansion, it's that you are that expansion.
Indeed.
Yes, yes. You were talking about negative energy and polarity and contrast. I had an image of kind of two opposing teams. Do you communicate with that energy? Is it how does that interaction work with the positive and negative energy in the energetic realm?
We do not access that energy. It is sort of an outlying. We are trying to explain in physical terms because that is what you can comprehend, and we understand that. The negative energy is sort of lower vibrational on the outskirts of that which you call source. And what you are hearing from when you are receiving this communication is pure positive. So negative does not have access to us, nor do we need or desire to access that. That serves physical. And you are all in a physical state with the awareness that you're in right now. And that negative energy serves to drive negative creation on your planet that ultimately serves to inspire new positive creation. But we are not part of that.
Of course. It is just there as I guess it's like a temperature, really, isn't it? There's the cold and the hot.
It is not a humanized evil being that is seeking damage and destruction. The damage and destruction is all human creation. In the case of planet Earth.
Of course. There's the person who was asking about Mel, their friend in a wheelchair, said they would like to believe she is in heaven now and her spirit can actually dance. Could you give us some advice as to what happens when we leave our physical body and return to our completed state?
You gain awareness instantaneously, and as you shed your human consciousness, that full awareness just simply, for lack of a better term, becomes your new reality. Notice how quickly you as a human being adapt to a new reality. In fact, you are all living a new reality now that did not exist for you 30 days ago. And you are always doing that. But you understand what we are referring to right now. You are existing in this new reality. And you would have read about this in a book, and it would have sounded horrific and apocalyptic and all of these things. And now you're in it. And it's not nearly as frightening as perhaps you would have thought had you read about it as a fiction. And now you're in it, and it is sort of that way when you return to your completed state. When you shed your human form, you're instantaneously adjusting to this new reality that is very different. But it is such a high level of intelligence that it is not frightening to you because you are all knowing in this state. So that is what your return is like. And it is a state of pure positive energy. It is a state of pure love. That is why we guide you to anyone that you wish to access energetically after they have crossed over to their completed state. Standing in appreciation of them is your clearest path to that, because they are now the very best version of them as you knew them as a human being. They are now that, because they have returned to pure positive energy. Not one soul on planet Earth, not one human being is going to return to a state of what you would call negative energy. The concepts of heaven and hell were created to control your behavior. From the statement that was read earlier, the idea of your loved one dancing in heaven, there is nothing wrong with that. That you're humanizing the energetic realm, but in you are appreciating that loved one in that way, you are actually making that connection, just as we have guided you.
And that connection is instantaneous if we allow it, right? We will feel it.
It is already there. You are simply allowing it. You are right.
Thank you. There's been some beautiful messages today and some fantastic energy. Do you have any final messages to us before we say goodbye?
We enjoy coming and flowing in this way very, very much, and utilizing David's intellect and vocabulary to do the best we can with those tools to communicate with all of you and explain these concepts. There are many things that we touch on that when you first hear about them may anger you, even may turn you off. But as our promise to you that is never our desire to do that. Some are not ready to hear all of these things. But this is why we guide you to listen to what we are offering again and again and again, and allow the layers to unfold for you, because there is a set of teachings that are finding their paths through these questions that are very, very useful for humanity at this time. In fact, this is an evolution of thought that has never been before. And therefore, you are all on the leading edge of what is happening on your planet right now with this thought. And you have found your paths here vibrationally, and is absolutely no accident. So if you are here interacting with us, you are in the right place. And you know that by how you feel when you hear these words. And we are the first to say, if the words do upset you and you go a little deeper and they continue to do so, you are right to move on from these teachings. They are not for you at this time. And there is no such thing as a one-size-fits-all message for humanity. Universal law is very simple. All creation occurs via attraction, and all attraction is governed by polarity. That is it. All of these other universal laws that you've come up with are offshoots of that. And once you understand that, you truly understand how the universe works. But you have all of these other things that are human-created tools that you do not necessarily need, but there's nothing wrong with using them. And it's important to understand that not all of humanity is ready for this message, nor would you want that to be. Because if suddenly you were all listening to these words and this message, and every single human being on planet Earth was doing exactly what we guide you to do, you would be racing toward destruction of your planet faster than any pandemic. Because you would be racing toward utopia. You would all be thinking the same. But as our promise to you that you are absolutely not in danger of that. Not at this time. That is not a vibration that you are anywhere near across humanity at this point. You are all disagreeing with each other enough for perfection that planet Earth is. With much love, that is all we have.
Namaste. Thank you. Woo. That was a good one, man. That was great. That was great. Nicole, I'm sorry. I wanted to get to your questions, but we just kind of went off on a tangent. And there was some fantastic deep knowledge there. Yeah. It was strong, huh?
Buzzing.
Yeah.
Take a shot of hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some amazing, really deep wisdom.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I don't know if you can see it. I'm really buzzing on it. That's always cool.
Yeah,
it's cool when they come and they exit, and I always have a different, really powerful emotion going on when they do, and that must have been a good one because I can feel it.
Yeah, it was great. So, yeah, yesterday we were talking about smooth exits. That wasn't one. They've
had some gentle interactions lately that have sort of eased in and out, and I don't know, maybe they're saving up the big guns for Saturday.
Yeah, there was some of this stuff on Saturday because their message was fantastic. Spring is coming, which is going to be much nicer than the winter from the Game of Thrones. So we should all focus on that. There were some fantastic messages, it was a lovely interaction. Thank you, David. Thank you, everyone. It was great fun, and we'll see you guys on Saturday. Yeah, please tune in, 10 a.m. Pacific. I think that's in the evening in Europe. In Australia, it's a god awful time, but it will be
for you, right?
Yeah. It's exactly when daylight saving transfers over. So I've got to do some kind of. I will be in no time. I will be in quantum.
You'll either be an hour early or on time, right?
Yeah, I'll be an hour early or tired.
Well, I'll be on or around an hour early, and then the panel's coming on a little early, so we'll all have our game together. So we'll have a panel. There'll be 10 of us on all together. I think only 6 at a time, but Matt will work and bring people in and out so people can come in, interact with the stream, ask questions live on air follow-up questions. We're calling it the virtual hot seat. Some of you know what that means. And then everyone that watches, you can do the same thing. What you saw here, those of you that participated and watched, you can type questions in, and Debbie will be reading the questions from the audience. Matt will be sort of moderating the panel. It's going to be a very interesting 2-hour experience, and it's no coincidence that we picked this day. I didn't even know about the global meditation. We picked this 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I didn't know it was the same exact day of this global meditation. So there's a little woo-woo for you right there. Yeah, so it's just going to be let's make it a whole high vibe day. I think that global meditation is later in the day.
Oh, perfect.
Right? I think it is. If somebody knows the time, please pop it in here, because somebody was asking that earlier. I think I saw that it's later in the day. In the United States, it's more in the afternoon, maybe even evening. But let's all participate in that. Why not? Yeah. Meditation, prayer, positive thoughts, focusing on what we want rather than what we don't want. That's going to help. That's what helps. And then not necessarily being in that state all the time. Getting out and I take 2 long walks a day with Lola and Michael, and I just had a fun time at the supermarket, even though it was kind of weird in there. I found fun to have in there. Now I'm going to go wash my car because it's filthy, and I haven't washed my car in a long time, and I'm excited to go wash my car.
I'm still human.
I'm still human. I get to wash my car. Yeah. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. Thank you all so much for watching and participating. Matt, you have something else?
Yeah, just quick plug for Taya. Check out the Taya Bootcamp and some of the streams teachings there. If you want to learn these tools, they're very timely at the moment. And there's a coupon if you mention Debbie Garcia. Is that right? If you mention Debbie
G, and you need to put in when you book your appointment. I'm getting way ahead of myself. I'm sorry. I'm always a little loopy after I channel. On the radio show today, Loren Gailey was my host. She hosts Quantum Conversations. I love Loren. And I called her Lauren. I came back because I'm like, I'm sorry, a little loopy after I channel. So anyway, they zap my brain power for sure. So if you go to the website, thestreamofdavid.com/Taya, you can learn all about the Taya practice. And then we also have a Taya Bootcamp, 2 different things. Taya is a spiritual practice that I created based on the stream's teachings, changed my life, and now I teach it in a bootcamp setting where it's changing lives of people all over the world. We have people in all over Australia. Matt's one. Debbie took boot camp also. Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia, all over Europe, all over North America have taken Taya boot camp. And it's a major reset in your life, to speak of resets. So if you're ready to really change your life and you want to make really good use of this time, rather than watching Netflix and playing games on Facebook, Taya Bootcamp is a great thing to get into right now. We have a lot more people coming in right now because they have the time to do it, and they know there's a global reset, and they want to make the best of it. And a lot of people are telling me, I don't want my life to be coming out of this what it was going in. I want to change my life. And I've heard enough testimonials now to know that this is the place to be. So go to that website, thestreamofdavid.com/Taya. Read about bootcamp. Read about the Taya practice. Read about bootcamp. There are testimonials in there. You can go to our YouTube channel. There's a whole playlist of testimonials. We're behind in testimonials right now. We have new graduates that have recorded testimonials that we need to get out. Yeah, we got to get those done and get them out. Yeah. So lots of testimonials from real people. Don't take my word for it. Take Matt's word for it. He took it. Debbie took it, and listen to the testimonials of the people and see if it resonates, if it's the right thing for you. There's a button on the website where you can book a discovery meeting. Set that discovery meeting up, and when you go to book it, it asks you some questions. One of the questions that you need to put is that Debbie G was the one that sent you, and you say Debbie G, you get an extra hour with the stream. You get an hour with the stream to start your bootcamp experience. Then you get a second hour with the stream that you can use anytime in the future, or you can gift it to somebody else, which is a very cool thing right now. So if you can get into boot camp and you've got a friend that maybe they're not ready for that yet, and you want to gift them an hour with the stream, you can use your hour that way if you want.
Yeah, it's a lovely way to share the abundance, and people often come out of the camp, you go in and I want this and this and this, and you come out and you're like, I couldn't care less about any of that stuff I wanted. I'm just so whole and I feel so complete now. It's coming to me anyway. I don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
So people donate their additional hour, which is a lovely thing to do. Yeah.
Well, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Matt. I will see you all 10 a.m. this Saturday. It's a 2-hour live event. It's on Facebook. It's on YouTube. Wherever you're watching us right now, we will be. If you see the post about it on Facebook, you can click Get Reminder, and you will get a reminder, but don't depend on that. Put it in your phone right now that you're going to be there, you're going to participate, and you're going to really raise the vibration in this event with us, because I'm excited to have the stream come for 2 solid hours, answering any and all questions as they do.
Event, just drop in, just get in the zone, and pre-game for the global meditation.
There we go. Yeah, that's right. That's really good. Or
Yeah.
we're the halftime show. We're Beyonce. Thank you all for watching. Thank you so much, Matt.
J-Lo. Cheers, guys.